Ladies and gentlemen, please warm welcome today's guest speaker, Ms. Mao Asada.マネージャーがいらっしゃいますか？マネージャーの方。はい、マネージャーさん。はい。
ナイス、キルさん。
キルさん、テレビカメラ気をつけてあげてくださいね。
Hi everyone. Thanks for coming along today in such large numbers. The numbers are so large actually I almost didn't get through the crowd of photographers. Everybody in the room of course knows this very famous woman here sitting beside me. If you were one of the people who stayed up late to watch Mao Asada last Wednesday in the wee hours, you may have felt the whole country sink a few inches with disappointment and shock when she fell on the ice. She was the silver medalist from Vancouver in 2010 who had come back to face down her Korean arch rival Kim Yuna to take gold and say she stumbled into 16th place in the short program. If you were up the next day, February 20th, to watch her in the free skate program, you might have felt the country rise again another inch or so. She scored a season's best, came back very strongly enough to take 6th place, and a testament, I think, that a lot of people, other people who watched, to her guts and to her skills. Most people thought that was a remarkable performance, but not the chairman of Japan's 2020 Olympics, Mr. Morty. He felt otherwise. Of course, he famously said that Mao-san always had a habit of performing at the wrong time. A lot of foreign commentators were very shocked that the chairman of Japan's Olympic Committee would make those statements. People in Japan were less shocked because they have many years of Mori-san's foot and mouth disease. All of us have to put up with Mori-san for another 6 years, or at least that's the prospect. We're wondering how long we will be in the company of Mao-san. We're hoping that one of the things she might talk about today is whether she will continue. She's 24 this year, of course. Maybe she can put us out of our misery and tell us what's happening. She's going to make a couple of brief statements, I think, and then we're going to have some questions from the floor. And I understand we have 25 minutes today, so if you can keep your questions very brief when you do ask them, I would appreciate it.
でももう一つの目標としてメダルという形で日本にメダルを持って帰ってこれなかったことというのは今でもとても残念ですし、すごい悔しい気持ちでいっぱいです。ではよろしくお願いします。
I'm Mao Asada, and I would like to begin by apologizing. There was an accident on the freeway, and so I was a little late getting here. And as you know, I didn't arrive back from Sochi today. In regard to the Sochi Olympics, I was very unhappy that I was not able to do the performance that I had aimed to do originally. And another great sadness and regret that I have is that I'm not able to bring back the medal to Japan that I so wish to do. However, I do thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I'm very happy to be here today.
Okay, so questions please. We'll take questions from the working press first, and then we'll open it up to the floor. I see one hand over here. Sorry, Joel. First hand was at the back here. Then Joel. Then I see this hand. Okay, so this gentleman here. Can you please identify who you are and keep your questions short? to the point. Thank you.
フリーランスの小林と申します。おかえりなさい。プルシェンコさんだけではなく世界中から高い称賛もありました。あなたが得たその影響力というのは、これは稀に見る大きな力だと思います。将来その力をスケート以外の分野でお使いになるというのは素晴らしいと思うんですが、いかがですか。
My name is Kobayashi, I'm a freelancer. I know that Mr. Plushenko praised you, but many people throughout the world have praised you. I believe that the influence you have in the world is very rare in the world. In your future, perhaps it might be a distant future, but in your future, do you have any plans to try to use that great influence and power that you have for things outside of the skating world?
私は将来のことはまだ何も考えてはいないんですけど、本当にたくさんのスケーターの方がショートの後は心配してくださって、そして頑張れというメールをたくさん送ってくださって、次の日の翌日のフリーで期待に応えられるような演技ができたことは本当にすごく嬉しく思っています。
Frankly, in regard to my future, I have not really given it much thought. What I can say is that different skaters throughout the world were very kind to me. I received many emails after my short program. They were expressing sympathy and asking if I was all right, and I found that to be a very, very encouraging thing. As a result, I believe I was able to skate to the client's expectations the following day.
Thank you. This gentleman and Joel, sorry. Thomas Davidson, Jyllandsposten, large Danish paper.
Asada-san, your rivalry with Yoon-Kim is legendary. But it also seems like the two of you have a large and healthy respect for each other. In the same way, Japan and South Korea's rivalry is legendary. But the healthy respect does not always seem to be there. As a cultural ambassador of Japan, what are your thoughts on how to better the relationship between Japan and South Korea? Thank you.
私から何か言うっていうことはできないと思います。でも私と木村選手はずっと小さな頃からライバルとしてたくさんのメディアの方に注目されてきましたが、リンクを離れれば普通にお話をしたりとか、普通の選手と友達のような関係だとは思っているので、私から何を言うとかそういうことはできないと思います。
I'm sorry, I don't really think I can comment. I don't think I can really make any statements in this regard. All I can say is that regarding to Ms. Kim, we have been very much in this limelight of media spotlight ever since we were small children. However, outside of the skating rink, we have regular conversations. We treat each other in a friendly way as athletes do. Beyond that, I really cannot say anything more.
Joël Legendre from France, RTL Broadcasting, France Uruguay. Welcome to the OCCJ and welcome back to Japan. You did great. Let's come back to Sochi on day 13 of Olympics. You enter the ring, you start your program. What do you think at that time, at this moment? What is the most important for you on that moment? And then what do you tell yourself after this outstanding performance? And what do you think when you start to burst into tears? Please do this.
やはり前日のショートで本当に自分の気持ちもどん底まで落ち込んでしまっていたんですけど、やはりそこからのフリーだったので自分ももちろんすごく不安な恐怖心というのがあったんですけど、やはりそれを乗り越えての自分の最高の出来だったので、やはりほっとしたのと嬉しさのあまり自分でも本当に 最高の気持ちになったから、本当は笑顔が良かったんですけど、前日の気持ちもまだやはり消えたわけではなかったので、ちょっと自分でも泣いてしまいました。
I believe that you're asking about the free program, and at that time I still was reverberating from the terrible thing that had happened the previous day. In other words, my feelings were at the very bottom, lowest of the low. And I believe when I started skating, my feelings were full of anxiety and fear. And however, the fact that I was able to overcome this anxiety and fear and give the best performance I'd ever given filled me with such joy and also such great relief that I burst into tears. Considering the fact that I was so happy at that moment, it would have been more appropriate for me to smile. But I think the negative feelings, the very, very sad, disappointing feelings that I had from the previous day were still carried over. That's why I first wept.
Thank you. One question from the working press. I saw Leo. And then this gentleman down the back here. This gentleman.
Thank you. My name is Nazari. I'm for the Arabic media. And by the way, your name, Asada, means in Arabic lioness. So I think it's lioness. So,
アラビア語はその朝だっていうのはメスのライオンだそうです。
We in the Arab countries, we don't have really skating because we have little ice, except very few places. So we have desert. So when somebody deal with the ice, we feel very afraid, kind of culture thing. And every time when the, mostly all ladies watch Olympics and see somebody fall down, they feel it's very much injury or it's very painful. So do you have a message to these people that when somebody fall in the ice? I'm not talking about your performance, but in general, do you think the ice is painful so much as they stand again and continue as if nothing happened in most cases? So what is the feeling when somebody falls in the ice? It's very painful. Thank you.
転ぶのは自分が転ぶと思って転ぶときは全く痛くないんですけど、自分が転ばないって思ったときに突然転ぶときはめちゃくちゃ痛いです。
The thing about falling is that if one knows or one expects or one intends to fall, it's not painful at all. But when one does not expect at all to fall and you suddenly fall, it's very painful. It does hurt.
This gentleman here at the back.
私は立たないから。
David Houston, Kyoto News. Mao-chan, after your great performance, you're in the free skate, it was your best performance ever. And I was just wondering, you seem to be wavering on what you're going to do for your career in the future. But a lot of people want to know whether you're going to be continuing on in your skating career or you're going to be retiring. And I'd just like to ask you that question.
私自身、去年だったと思うんですけど、集大成という言葉を使って報道にもたくさん取り上げられてしまうことになってしまったんですけど、でも私自身本当にこの1年間ソチオリンピックまで集大成という気持ちでやってきましたし、本当に今回のソチオリンピックのフリーではもう悔いはなく最後終わりたいという気持ちでスケートを滑って今悔いなく終わった気持ちでいます。でもまだ試合はこの後も一つ残っているので、まずそこでしっかりもう一度最高の演技をしてから自分の気持ちと向き合って今後考えていきたいなというふうに今思っています。
I myself last year made some comments in this regard. I used the word shitaise, which might be translated as a culmination among my efforts. And as a result of my using this word, the media very much picked up on this. And looking back on past year, my journey to Sochi, I believe that this has really been a year that represents a culmination of all of my efforts until now. In fact, that I was able to perform the free program without any regrets. I had this idea that I wanted to end in a very, very wonderful, complete way, and so after that performance I felt I had absolutely no regrets. Having said all of this, however, I do have one large competition still before me. I'm going to aim now to give the best performance possible. And after this ends, I would like to think about what I will do in the future. I would like to face my own emotions, my own thoughts, and make a decision.
Thank you. Can I ask a question? Were you surprised or hurt by the comments by Mori-san?
It's something that happened in the past, so I have no further thoughts about it. Having said this, however, when I first heard about these comments, my first reaction was, oh, so that's how it is.
Do we have any more questions from the working press? I see a hand up, but we've already had a question from that gentleman. So, do you see this gentleman here? Yeah. Any more questions from the working press?
佐藤と申します。インターネットとかでフランスのナタリ選手が変顔の写真を出してネット上でみんなすごい顔してるなとか言ってるんですけどもあれ誰が撮ろうって言い出して、どういう理由で撮ってきたのかすごい楽しそうな雰囲気だったのでその頃に今日お話しさせてもらいました。
Sorry, the interviewer didn't quite understand what Ms. Mao apparently does. I'm freelancer Sato, and apparently on the internet there has been a photograph that's disseminated that was taken by a French athlete, and I guess it includes Ms. Mao. And could you just give some background about what took place when this photograph was taken?
あの写真を撮ったのはエキシビジョンのみんな自分の出番が終わった後に撮ったんですけど、みんなそれぞれも自分の大きな大会が終わってすごくみんなそれぞれ達成感があった中での一番だったんですけど、最初は普通に笑顔で撮ってて、その後に誰かが多分変な顔をしようっていう話になって撮ってそれが皆さんの画面に入っていくんじゃないかなっていうふうに思います。
The photographs are taken after the exhibition. It was a time when all of the athletes had finished their performance. They all had a sense of accomplishment and sense of relief that things had gone well. And originally when the photographs were taken, everyone made a regular nice happy smile. But then someone made a suggestion, why don't we make funny faces? And as a result, everyone made funny faces, and that's the photograph that goes on the internet.
Thank you. Just one of the hands. Can we take this lady first? I saw her hand first, and then yours.
フランス県でと申します。浅田真央さん、まずはそっちからお帰りなさいませ。そしてお疲れ様でした。私は、そのショートの失敗があったからこそ、翌日のフリーの演技ができたという言葉こそ、真央さんの生き方をすごく示した言葉ではないかと思いました。人はよくこうだったらとか、ああしていればと誰かのせいにしたりとか、なんかその後悔の念に押しつぶされてしまいでもおかしくない逆境の状態だったと思うんですね。でもそれでも、諦めない、最後までめげないそういう精神をちょっとリンク上で見たというふうに感じました。そして世界中の人たちも日本人もそうですけれどもその感動したのはその真央さんのもう生き方そのものだったなっていうふうに今回の演技を見て私たちは思いました。その逆境としっかり向き合って覚悟を決めて、失敗があったからこそ今の私があるっていうなかなか言えないことではありますけどもこの誰かのメンターメンターであったりその素晴らしい考え方は、誰から影響を与えられたなっていうふうに思ったりしたことがありますか？言葉だったりとか先生の影響だったりとかってありますか
So I think all of us, not only Japanese people, but the people throughout the world were very much moved by the fact that you gave this wonderful free skating program after the not so successful short program. Some people would have said blamed other people. Some people would have just been so overwhelmed with regret that they wouldn't have been able to do well on the following day. However, the fact that you were able to overcome all of this is perhaps a reflection of the way you live, and that I think is what is so admirable about you. With regard to this being able to overcome adversity, not giving up, is there some mentor that has been influential in shaping your life views, or are there some words that someone has said to you that has made you this way?
ショートが終わってから本当にたくさんいろいろ考えたんですけど、これ一つっていうことではないと思っていて、私自身今までたくさんいろいろ経験してきて、こういうショートが本当に良くない中でフリーで挽回したりしたこともありましたし、あとはもうもちろんコーチの言葉や今まで支えてくださった方の言葉や皆さんの期待を自分もできると思ってやることがやっぱり自分の気持ちを復活させられた理由かなというふうに思っています。
After the short program, I thought about many different things. I don't think I've pinned down one particular thing as having been the crucial idea that allowed me to perform well. But I look back on my own past, I realize that I've experienced many things during my career. I have in the past done badly in a short program and then been able to recover in the skating program. There were many encouraging words given to me by my coach, by people who supporting me, around me. And I think in the end it boiled down to the fact that I believed, I had this feeling inside me that I would be able to live up to people's expectations. And I think maybe that is how I was able to do well.
Thank you.
My name is Eleanor Warnock. I'm with the Wall Street Journal here in Tokyo. And I wanted to ask, in the media a lot has been made about your struggle doing the triple axel. And I wanted to ask why, in the end, you decided to keep on challenging this triple axel. And if you ever thought about trying to go for a medal, finding another path that didn't necessarily use triple axel.
私はちっちゃい頃からずっと伊藤みどり選手に憧れて、私もみどりさんの次を振ろうと思い、アクセルにずっと挑戦してきました。そしてこのトリプルアクセルは私自身すごく強く持たせてくれるものでもありますし、私がその試合で挑戦することによって、そしてそれを成功した時は本当に達成感の気持ちでいっぱいになります。なので、今年もトリプルアクセルをずっと挑戦してきました。今回フリーでトリプルアクセルはもうずっと入っているものだったので、トリプルアクセルを飛ばないっていう選択肢はなかったんですけど、やっぱり私自身トリプルアクセルがやっぱり一番の見せ場だと思っているので、それは絶対に外すわけにはいかない。
Ever since I was a small child, I have admired Mito Ito, the famous Olympic skater, and I always wanted to be able to be her successor. So I wanted to be able to master the axel spin, which she did so well. So the triple axel, I think, is something that very much empowers me. Whenever I try to do it in a performance or in a competition and it goes well, the sense of accomplishment is simply wonderful. So this is something that I've always wanted to continue to do, to always be able to challenge myself and try the triple axel. In regard to this Sochi Olympics, the triple axel was already incorporated into the free program, the skating program, and really I did not have the option of removing it. But I guess in some way I could say that the triple axel is the best possible thing that I can offer audiences. It's my showpiece or showcase, and it's not something that I'm willing to give back.
Thank you. I think this gentleman has number for one, and this gentleman at the back, and then this one. Anyone who's been working for us over here? This gentleman.
日本テレビの加藤と申します。お疲れの後ありがとうございます。先ほど変な顔の写真についての質問がありましたが、私も写真に関する質問です。お仲間の鈴木明子選手がこちらツイッター上で皆さんで撮られた写真をこれツイートでアップされていたんですが、この写真いつどういったタイミングで、どういう状況で撮られたのかというお話と、あ あとソチオリンピック期間中ですね、お仲間のフィギュアスケート陣と、どういった雰囲気で、どんな結束で臨まれていたのか、お話しください。
Nihon TV. Thank you very much for coming here today. There was a question raised about a funny face photograph. I wanted to ask you about another photograph that's on the internet. It was uploaded by Ms. Suzuki on her Twitter account. Can you give us some background? I'm just showing it on my iPad. Can you tell us what the situation was, where it was taken, etc.? And can you also tell us a little bit about your camaraderie or your interaction with your fellow skaters during Sochi?
この写真はフリーが終わった日の夜にみんなで撮りました。
どちらでどういった雰囲気で撮られたんですか？
選手村の中のお部屋でみんなでやはりフリーが終わった日だったので集まって一緒にお話をしたりお菓子を食べたりしてみんなで記念撮影しました。そして今回日本からもたくさんの選手が出てたんですけど、みんなで一緒に無事に終えることができて今すごくほっとしています。選手村でもよく一緒に話したりとか食堂などでもあったらみんなで一緒にご飯食べたりとかそういう感じで過ごしていました。
So that photograph was taken after the free skating program had finished. We all decided to get together in one of the rooms in the athletes' village, and we just talked and had snacks and decided to take a kind of a photograph just for so that we could commemorate the occasion. And this time, I'm so glad that there's so many athletes that came from Japan, and I'm so very glad that they were all able to return safely back to Japan. I'm very relieved. We spent a great deal of time together. Whenever in a skating group, if we would see each other in the cafeteria, we would always sit together and talk.
Thank you. I think we have time for 2 more questions. This one. Do you have your hand up?
AFP の伊藤と申しますけれども、ソチオリンピックで何を学んだか教えてくださいということと、来シーズン続けてる可能性というのは何%ぐらいですか？
What did you learn from Sochi Olympics? And second question, what percentage do you think you might stay? What is your likelihood of continuing to the next season in terms of percentages?
私はこのオリンピックで本当にいろんな感情がたくさん本当に悔しかったり本当に最高の気持ちだったりいろんな気持ちを味わったんですけど、今まで以上にすごく充実した試合だったなというふうには思っています。でもやはり、ショートでああいう結果になってしまって自分も悔しかったんですけど、やはり自分もその強い意志を持って諦めなければやっぱり自分の目指しているものができるんだなっていうのはまた改めて強く感じることができたので、また今後の自分の人生にもそれが生きてくるのではないかなというふうに思っています。そして、今後のスケートの選手については一応まだもう一つ試合が残っているので、まずそこの世界選手権でショートもフリーも両方揃えられるようにして、そしてショーがその後にあるので、そこでしっかり全国の皆さんに感謝の滑りをして、それからしっかり自分で落ち着いて考えたいなというふうに思っています。
I learned a good deal from the Olympics. So one thing I learned was that I experienced tremendous ups and downs in terms of personal emotions. I was filled with tremendous regret and disappointment, and yet I was filled with incredible joy and a sense of accomplishment. It was in many ways the most fulfilling event that I've ever taken part in. Having said this, however, having not done well with the short program was something that filled me with tremendous regret. But I learned this about myself, that if one maintains a strong will, if one does not give up, then one can overcome great difficulties. This is something that I knew, but I was able to confirm this understanding with myself, and I think that the fact that I felt this so strongly is going to serve me for the rest of my life. In regard to my skating future as an athlete, as I mentioned, I do have one large world championship coming up. I hope to be able to skate well, short program, free program, and also the show that will have right afterwards. And in regard to the show that will be at the end, I would like to make this a wonderful performance that I would like to skate in a way that shows my tremendous appreciation for all the people of this country who have supported me so long. And after all of that, I would like to take a little time to be calm and quiet and think about my future.
の質問はしていただいてないですね。
パーセンテージで。今のところハーフハーフで。
I think this gentleman here, yes, this will be the last question.
You talked about how you felt personally about the comments that Mr. Mori made. That, as an athlete and as an Olympian, do you think that that is an appropriate thing for the head of the Olympic Committee to be saying?
私自身それを聞いた時は、終わった後だったので、そんなこと言ってたんだなっていうふうに思ったんですけど、でも、人間なのでそれを失敗することもありますし、しょうがないといえばそれはそうではないとは思うんですけど、やはり自分も失敗したくて失敗してるわけではないので、それはちょっと違うのかなというふうには思ったんですけど、でも森さんはそういうふうに思ったのではないかなというふうに思いました。
When I heard his words, this was after I skated, and my reaction was, oh, he said something like that about me. Certainly I understand that human beings do make mistakes, and the fact that I did actually fall, it's an undeniable fact. I have to accept it. But having said this, I think that people don't want to fail, people don't want to fall, and so my first reaction was, isn't that not really exactly the thing that we should have said? It's very different from what should be said. So that is the impression that I have.
Do you think Japan can stand another 5 years of Mori-san?
5年間その会長を務めていただく森元首相を日本人は耐えられると思いますでしょうか。
私は別に今は何とも思っていないですけど、多分森さんがああいう発言をしてしまったことについて森さんは今少しちょっと後悔をしている。
I just don't think anything more about his comment is done and finished, but I think that probably Mr. Mori has some perhaps regrets that he made such a comment.
What a great answer. We'd like to thank Mao-san for coming along at such short notice, straight from the airport, looking so fresh. I'm just admiring her beautiful ballet pose here. She's perfectly straight back. It's beautiful to look here to the side. Thank you so much for coming to the airport. The Lioness flag, I think, is a very appropriate one. We hope she'll come back in a year's time and tell us how she's getting on. Thank you so much. Can you show your appreciation, please? Stay seated while Mao-san leaves the room. Thank you.